Hey friends, it's Deanna here, and today we are sewing up the jersey skirt pattern. And I already got my pieces cut out, but the first thing we're going to do is mark our pieces. But before we do that, let me remind you of our fun fan giveaway that we're doing. Every month we give away a $50 Ellie and Matt gift certificate to one of our subscribers. So the way to enter is to go ahead and subscribe to our channel and comment below and let me know that you subscribed, and you will be entered on our giveaway. So be on the lookout for that. You may be a winner. So if you haven't subscribed, please go subscribe to our channel and comment. And now we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, so I already cut out my pieces, but I got to mark them. So when you cut out your pieces, on your pattern piece, there are different markings that you have to take note of. Sorry, it had unfolded, so I folded it back up like if I had just cut it. And here's my fold, my center front and my bottom skirt match. So you're gonna either pin it and mark it, or when you're cutting it, you can go out and do like a little point right there to mark that pin, because this will come in handy later when we're trying to attach our skirts together. And then for the band, there's also a mark, so we wanna go ahead and pin that and make sure that you've got that, take note of that. So now that we did that, if you want, what we can do first is we want to do a memory hem, which just means I'm folding it in 1/2 inch at the edges, so that after I sew my skirt together, it still will have a memory of a hem. We're not gonna hem it right now, but we wanted to have, like, you know, so that way it's easier to do when I've already put the two sides together. So you can go ahead and just go all the way around, doing that 1/2 inch seam allowance. I've done 1/2 inch seam allowance for so long that I don't even measure anymore. I just fold, I just eyeball it, and it turns out pretty good most of the time. But after you do that, we're gonna go ahead and grab our two pieces, face them right side up. See right here where the waistline is, and I'm gonna put my other piece, and I'm doing this too. This is gonna be my top skirt. And you're gonna do the same thing for your bottom skirt as well. So I'm just doing it for the top skirt right now for you to see. But I'm doing the same exact step to my bottom skirt. And I'm pinning it right here. And I'm going to sew this together. You can use a stretch stitch on your sewing machine. You can use a serger. I am using a serger because that's just what I learned on, but you could do either one, will be just fine. So I'm going to go ahead and sew those two edges up. Make sure your two fabrics are sewing together. Where did I put my scissors? Oh, here they are. So now I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. And now that I've done that my two sides are together, I'm gonna go ahead, and now that I had that memory hem, see, there it is, my memory hem, I'm going to fold it back up, and I'm going to go ahead and hem the whole outside of the skirt. So here's the circle. I'm gonna hem all the way around the edge of my skirt. And I'm gonna do the same thing with I'm gonna sew the sides and do the same thing with my bottom skirts. This is my top, that's my bottom. I'm serging the two edges together, and then I'm going all the way around and hemming. So let me go ahead and hem that, and then we'll come back and do the next step. All right, so now both of my skirts are hemmed, as you can see, and ready. So I'm gonna put them to the side so I can work on my waistband. So I'm gonna grab both waistbands, and here's one. I'm gonna put them right sides together on top of each other. Right sides together on top of each other, just like so. And I'm gonna sew that top seam together, that top raw edge together, and I'm gonna do the same thing for the other one. I already did it over here. As you can see, right sides together, so that top seam. And now, open it up. Open it up. And and I'm gonna steam it. And now I'm gonna place them right on top of each other. And I'm gonna sew the sides together. Right on top of each other, I'm gonna sew these sides together. I wish I had orange thread, because I'm hoping that you won't be able to see this white thread as much, but I don't know. I hope I don't. And now we're gonna fold it down just like so to create that waistband. And I'm going to steam it. I still have that mark. I did my pins, so that way they're still there to show me where the front, which one the front one is. And my waistband is done. It's so cute. And so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my skirts and I'm going to gather them. I'm gonna put a gathering stitch to gather them as the width of the waistband. So the gathering stitch I usually use is I use a long straight stitch on my sewing machine, and then I gather them together. But you can do that, or you can do whatever gathering stitch you prefer. Since you could do, sometimes I'll do 2 rows of gathering stitches just to make sure that they gather well. Ooh. Don't let your pin come out. Your marker pin. I'm going all the way around trying to do that. Whoa, gathering stitch. Okay. And then you're gonna gather your skirt the width of the waistband. And I'm gonna do this to this one, and I'm gonna do the same thing to the other one. I'm gonna gather them, and then we'll move on to attaching the skirts on. So all I'm doing is I'm gathering them. See how that is the width of the waistband now? I'm gonna do the same thing to this one. I'm gonna do the same thing, just gather them just the width, okay? All right, so now both of my skirts are gathered. You can either do it, if you're coming from the right side, then you want if you're coming from the wrong side, sorry, you want your bottom skirt first. Then we're gonna grab your top skirt first, then your bottom skirt is gonna go right over that. But you gotta make sure you match those marks where the fronts are gonna be for those 2. So I'm matching those up. I'm double pinning because I know how it tends to come off, and I don't want it to come off. And I'm gonna do it on the other mark I set as well. Pin those marks. That you made. So now they should be together, the 2 skirts. And then now we're gonna go ahead and put the waistband. And the waistband is gonna go inside the both of them, because you want the right sides together. So the right side of the waistband to the right side of the skirt. And this is our front notch right here. So we're gonna go ahead and put that on our front of our skirt where we mark those pins. Okay, so you could do either one. One is gonna be the front and one is gonna be the back. So spin it right there. Good and pinned. And you can actually use the seam of the bottom skirt as your guide if you'd like. And now we're just spinning all of them together at the raw edge, sandwiching that top skirt in there. Right sides together, and I'm pinning. Make sure you pin nice and well, because you want to make sure that your gathers stay and everything. So take your time while you're pinning. If your gathers kind of come loose a little bit, pulling the wrong side. If your gathers kind of come loose a little bit, go ahead and tighten them up a little bit. That's what I'm doing. Ooh, I can't wait. This is for my niece. I think she's gonna love it. Love this bright style for, this is such a fun, to me it's like a fun, summery style. I might have to make myself this one too. You know, this, I'm doing the kids version, but there is the adult version as well. So you can match your little one. I don't have a little girl, and my son would not want to wear this. So I don't get to match anyone. But it would be a fun one to match your little. Alright, I am going to finish up right here. Sorry, my gather came undone right there a little bit, so I was making sure it's all nice and gathered. I'm telling you, you gotta take your time so that it looks nice and full and gathered. If you don't take your time, then it might not have the look that you are going for. It might be flatter and maybe have more ruffles, gathers on one side than the other, and I don't particularly love it when that happens. So I want to make sure that I'm taking my time, pinning a lot. Now, if you want, I know that I've done this before when I'm making something that has a lot of ruffles. I will do it with a zigzag stick on my zigzag stitch on my sewing machine, and then I'll turn it right side out and figure out if it's exactly how I want it, and if it is, then I'll go ahead and serge the edge. So this is up to you if you want to do that, or you can do a basting stitch first. Okay, so now my skirt is put together. Now I'm going to go ahead and sew that edge. I'm just serging it on, but you can do all those other options I just mentioned. But you got to make sure that you're attaching all the layers. There is a lot of layers on here. There's the top skirt, the bottom skirt, and the waistband front and back. And as you're going, make sure you're removing all those pins. You do not want a pin to fly out and hit you in the eye. That would be very painful and dangerous. We don't want that. Also, make sure you're moving everything out of the way, because this is your last step. And I would hate for you to ruin, for me to ruin our skirt on the last step. Always make sure that you're moving everything else out of the way from underneath it. I have done that before. I made a Be Curious once. Well, I've made many Be Curious, but once I made a Be Curious, and I literally was to the end of the whole thing. I was sewing something on, serging, I think the end of the ruffles, or I can't remember what it was, and the bottom of my skirt got caught in there, and that was the end of it. It was awful. So sad. I was so sad. Sometimes my serger, and I don't know if yours does this, will try to eat the serger tail, like what I have already cut off, and it will like tuck it in at the serge side, and it did that here. Like it'll try to eat it, so I like have to clip it off, and I'm gonna have to serge that little spot over again. So, which means I'll have to tuck in that tail. That's my fault. I really wasn't paying attention to it until it did it, because it's done it before. Alright, so let me make sure all our waistband is in. I missed a spot right here. When you miss a spot, you can either go back on your serger if it's somewhere that will be easy, or I've done before is sometimes I'll go in with a zigzag stitch and fix it. And our skirt is done. Look at it. Look at it. How cute is this thing? How cute is this skirt? She's going to love it. I love it. I want to wear it. It's too small for me, but look at how cute it is. All right, guys, please let me know if you have any questions about anything I did. I hope it was, I hope you understood and I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry, I couldn't think of the words. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Please comment, like, share with your friends so they can see everything that's going on at Ellie and Mac. If you're not part of our Ellie and Mac Facebook page or Instagram, please come join us so you can see everything that we're sewing up and all the new patterns, and also so we can see what you're sewing up. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and if you're in summertime, I hope you have a great summer. If you're in wintertime, I hope you have a great winter. If you're in spring, I hope you have a great spring, and if you're in, what is the other season? Winter, spring, summer, fall. If you're in fall, I hope you have a great, sorry, I couldn't think of the word. Anyway, please let me know if you have any questions, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.